At first light, the burners roar and you lift off. Rising above the Serengeti, where the wild wakes below you. Elephants roam, predators stalk, and the great migration unfolds in silence beneath your basket. This is no ordinary safari. This is the Serengeti Balloon Safari, a journey through the sky over Africa's untamed heart. Serengeti Balloon Safaris is the pioneering company offering hot air balloon experiences over Tanzania's Serengeti National Park. They were the first to introduce ballooning to the Serengeti and have since become a benchmark in the industry. Their fleet includes 16 passenger balloons, the largest commercial balloons globally. Flights typically last about an hour, launching at sunrise to provide breathtaking views of the savanna awakening below. Having taken balloon rides in the past, the pre-departure procedures were significantly different. The basket starts on its side, with each of the 16 passengers clipping their harness to the basket and then pulling themselves into the seated position, lying on their back, not unlike an Apollo space capsule launch position. The noise from the fans keeping the balloon envelope open during inflation was significant. The heat from the flames was intense at times, almost overwhelming. Those standing closest to the burners were partially shielded by a large aluminum heat deflector. But if you were positioned near the outer edge of the basket, farthest from the pilot, you felt the full force of the blast. I'm pretty sure I didn't lose any hair, I didn't smell anything burning, but it is definitely close. The ground crew, too many to count, had the balloon anchored at a dozen or more points, with the final tether connected to a rugged Toyota Land Cruiser. Got the camera going. Yeah, we're definitely going that way. This was our last physical link to Earth. As the balloon began to lift, the Land Cruiser slowly rolled forward, helping to ease us into the air. It seemed to serve as a gentle accelerator, guiding the basket and its passengers from a standstill to match the pace of the wind. About 5 knots, if I was to guess. We're hauling. We are hauling. Holy crow. In the golden hush of the early March morning, as the sun was just beginning to show itself, we rose quietly, gently into the sky above the Serengeti.
That's quiet.
There'll be no wind. Absolutely no wind.
Oh, another one over there.
Two over there on the left.
2? Oh, yeah.
Anybody losing their hair?
Guys, welcome aboard, everybody. You can now stop enjoying the ride, yeah?
Andy's closer to it.
He's wearing a hat, though. I'm losing whatever
Pilot doesn't have any
whatever
hair.
I have left.
Pilot, that's why he doesn't have any hair.
As the sun peeked over the eastern rim of the world, it bathed the landscape in soft amber light, casting long shadows across the plains. For the first few minutes, silence enveloped us, except for the occasional whoosh of the propane burner and the distant calls of birds greeting the dawn. We drifted silently, suspended between earth and sky. Our balloon followed a carefully chosen current. It was no accident. Our pilot, with incredible precision and years of experience, had studied the morning winds. Here we are, just feet off the ground, as these are the winds he needed to use for a short period of time. By reading subtle changes in altitude and air movement, our pilot navigated the balloon with astonishing accuracy, steering us some 7.4 kilometers through this invisible pathway of wind, all to bring us towards a small, secluded hippo pond.
You see the hippo truck, huh?
Yeah.
The wider one before the hill. They have a big herd
Oh,
of,
yes.
wildebeest.
Yes.
Migration
Big
herd.
herd. Wow.
Then, when you can't imagine it getting any better, he took us directly over the hippo pond. Unbelievable skill. This was close. Perhaps a little too close.
Yeah, we don't need to touch the ground here.
Whoa!
Look at that! No. Back. Get up.
More people in Africa are killed by hippopotamus than any other animal. Approximately 3,000 people a year. And here we are in a hot air balloon, literally just feet above them. A perfect flyover of a target no larger than a clearing, achieved entirely by adjusting altitude to catch the right wind, at the right time, in the right direction. A feat of aerial finesse. Then, with a huge blast of propane, we went up, straight up. We caught a different current and began drifting towards something even more breathtaking. A thundering sea of movement on the plains below. A massive herd of wildebeest and zebras, perhaps 100,000 strong, just guessing, stretching across the land like a living tide. Stripes and horns, dust and rhythm. The pulse of the Serengeti. We floated silently above this moving mosaic, watching as the animals parted and flowed around one another, unaware or perhaps simply unbothered by our presence overhead. Unbelievable.
Zebra's lost.
Holy crow, holy crow.
You're just standing there. Stop it. Get away.
As we descended once more, the animals grew larger, more defined. The pilot brought us gently down into the very heart of the herd. We were close enough to hear them breathing, close enough that the roar of the propane torches startled a few into a brief trot. For a moment, we were not observers. We were part of the landscape, immersed in the wild. Oh my God. The pilot did let us down for one unplanned touch and go, followed by a planned touch and drag to an eventual tip over.
Yeah, we're scooting. Oh!
One.
Are you staying upright? It's like one of Andy's landings. And we're upright, sort of? No, we're going over! There we go. Oopalai.
There, in the middle of the Serengeti, champagne awaited us. The tradition of drinking champagne after a balloon ride dates back to the 18th century France, when early balloonists would offer champagne to the farmers upon landing to ease fears and thank them for allowing the use of their land. Locals often mistook the strange flying contraptions as threats, so the champagne acted as a peace offering. Over time, the gesture evolved into a celebratory ritual, symbolizing a safe return to Earth and the joy of flight. But the magic didn't end there. Waiting for us under the wide arms of an acacia tree was a table laid in full linen, silver, fresh fruit, and coffee. Then, over a hearty English-style breakfast, beneath that iconic silhouette of African wilderness, we relived the morning's adventure in hushed awe and tones. Having lived in Africa in the 1970s and returned to East Africa 3 times in the past 4 years, I can say without hesitation that this is a must-do experience. Put it high on your bucket list.